got this little something in my pocket here I'd like to share with y'all. Okay. Elena Addict.
Hey, Elena.
My clean date is 8/16/17.
Let's go.
Which goes into 1,969 days.
Let's go.
So I almost put together 2,000 days. So this is set aside prayer. So Lord, help me set aside everything I think I know about you, everything I think I know about myself, and everything I think I know about others, and everything I think I know about recovery. For a new experience in you, Lord, and a new experience in myself, and a new experience with my fellows, family, and much needed new experience in my own recovery. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so I'm super nervous. Thank God we can take it off for our house, huh? Okay. So, first of all, I sponsor sponsors. And today, my sponsees are here. And I'm so fucking proud to be a part of that and to be a part of giving back to this program that gave me my life back. You know? I was born, we'll start at the beginning. I was born 3/27/1976. What I know about the day of my birth was I was born breech, bass backwards, which kind of set tone for my whole life. You know, my dad said he could hear me screaming from down the hallway, kiss my ass as I came into this world ass first. And then they took me in there to my mom and said, "Hey, you want to breastfeed?" And she said, "Fuck no." She tried to kill me when I was coming, and she said, "Take that away." So kind of set a course for me and my mom's relationship in a sense. You know, so my first childhood memory is. I was 3 years old, and I had a birthday cake that was a Mickey Mouse birthday cake. And I remember the icing, the black icing tasted bad. And I remember it turned my teeth black. And I remember it was Easter, so my sister and my cousin, we all had dresses the same. They were beautiful dresses. And you know, I was at my dad's parents' house, and unfortunately, my dad's family were all very sick people, and you know, my first memory is that of abuse was my grandpa molesting me, you know, that's my first childhood memory, and that's where the hole started in me, you know, that I started trying to fill with drugs and alcohol and women and sex and all that good stuff that you do, you know. Right. So I never had a safe place, even as a child. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I knew at a very young age that, you know, my mom and my dad were both sick in addiction, but it was a different kind of addiction. My dad was a sex addict, my mom was a people pleaser, you know, and so that opened up our house to a lot of unhealthy people who, you know, continued to abuse me throughout my life. My parents divorced in first grade, and, you know, my grandpa was a sheriff, so that gave us a place to have lots of parties and lots of things without consequences, you know. So our house became the party spot, and I had 3 sisters, and they were all very much in and out of addiction. I remember, like, at 5 or 6 years old, I was, you know, hiding with my dad's Playboys, looking at women, because I knew something was just, I don't know. I knew then. I was so curious about, you know, women and their, just who they were, and, you know, I never wanted a boyfriend, although I had several trying to be straight. I wanted to be straight. Lord knows I wanted to be straight. But I learned at a very young age about manipulation. I was 7 years old, the first time I ever did drugs. My mom's boyfriend blowed me shotguns through a door, and what I found was right then that I could change the way I felt. And, you know, so I found a way to get in on that. I learned how to roll joints, and I learned how to, you know, manipulate them to give me what I wanted, because if I got high, then the abuse that I was enduring at night was not so bad. So I learned right then that I could change the way I felt, and I didn't have to feel those things. I'm sorry. So at the age of 7, I started doing drugs. By the time I was 9, I was selling drugs. I was selling weed. I was, you know, I knew how to get weed. I knew how to sell it. I knew, you know, how to manipulate people with it. I got to hang out with older people because I always had bud, you know, and it was just it. And like I said, my grandpa was a sheriff, you know, and I learned manipulation, a lot of it, to seek approval and acceptance, you know. The kind of abuse that I endured from the men that were in I was basically sex trafficked in my own home. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. That's how it was, you know. There were too many to count, and and I, you know, it was what it was, you know. I seek acceptance. I seek to fit in. I wanted to, you know, like, I mean, these guys would, I mean, the grooming that went on that I didn't know about then was so intense that, you know, there was all these little games they played, and since I benefited from them, I thought that somehow it was my fault. You know, I had to play a part in it, but I was so young that I didn't know any different. You know, I just thought that, you know, I don't know. So I told my mom, and she basically made it out like, you know, I'd done something to, you know, to provoke these men to do that, you know, and it was just a bad deal. What I know now is that my mom, it happened to my mom, she didn't deal with it. So when it happened to me, she didn't deal with it, and because she couldn't deal with her own shit and my shit too. I know that now. I didn't then, but I know that now. And I learned that I live life forward to understand it backwards, you know. So anyway, the first time I ever got drunk, I was 11 years old, and they had robbed a liquor store, and they brought it to my house, and of course, you know, they said, I bet you can't drink that bottle of TJ Swanee tonight. And I said, you put 20 bucks on the table and I'll drink it. And I drank it. And then I drank some 20 by Mad Dog. What I wound up with was alcohol poisoning. I literally was all but dying on the floor. My dad came in, he's like, what, did you eat too much candy at the football game? I'm like, I couldn't even talk. You know, I was like, what? I don't know what's happening, but I'm bugging. It's not right. And so I met my godfather, you know, that night. His name was Tim Wimberly. He came into the house and he saw that I was sick and that I was not well. And he literally took me on the front porch and pumped my stomach. I mean, literally, put his hand underneath me and pumped my stomach. You know, and it was a bad deal. It was a very bad deal, you know. My mom decided, you know, well, during that time, just a little bit past that, a man took me out in the woods and said he was taking me snipe hunting. And of course, there's no such thing as snipes. So, you know, it was then I was raped again. And, you know, it was just a bad deal. At 12 years old, I got my first boyfriend. We helped paint together and airplane fuel and all kinds of crazy shit. And, you know, that's when I lost my virginity willingly at that point, you know. And I loved him. He was killed in a car wreck. And, you know, it was really sad for me. At 13, I had my first experience with a woman. And, you know, she was an older woman. You know, it was a situation that, you know, she was grooming me again. I didn't know that then, but, you know, but she was actually the first person that ever allowed me to be me, that allowed me to, you know, be a woman, and be okay with feeling how I felt about other women, you know what I mean? So it wasn't all bad, you know, but I spent a lot of time in bars, you know, because every Friday I skipped school, 8th grade, and I had a bottle of, you know, Dr. Pepper that the top was poured out of, and I had, you know, Southern Comfort poured in, and she'd take me around to bars, and, you know, that's just how it was, you know, at 14. You know, at 16, I met her brother, which was just like her. So I was like, yeah, this is great. I can have her and him. And I can make my mom happy, I can make the world happy. And I loved Sam, I did. But it came down, I found a lump on him, and he had cancer. And I fought cancer with him for about 1.5 years. But when it came to the fact that I wouldn't have sex with him because, you know, I didn't feel that way. I just wanted to be his friend. I wanted to love him. I wanted to help him get better. You know, I mean, he had 1,100% cancer in his body, and we shrank it to 31%. And he put me out, you know, and it was hard. You know, it was really hard. And so he died of cancer, you know, and I was beside his bed. The woman that he married never came to the hospital. And, you know, that's okay. You know, I loved him. I loved him very much. And I was very much a people pleaser at this point in my life. You know, I found my self-worth in loving other people and helping them and giving them what they needed. And that was the only love that I ever had for myself growing up, was that. The love I found, the reflection I found of myself and other people. Let's see, on my 16th birthday, I'd been with a couple of girls, so I talked them and 4 others into, you know, having a 6-pack for my 16th birthday. So that's what I did. I had an orgy for my 16th birthday, and that led into a whole vicious cycle of a lot of promiscuity, a lot of fucking around, you know. I knew for a fact that that's what I wanted, and that's all I wanted. I didn't ever want to be with a man again. You know, after that experience, it was all that for me. But there again, I learned how to manipulate situations, people, places, and things to get what I wanted. You know, and I was good at manipulating people, places, and things to, you know, get me what I wanted. But I was honest, and I was very